In the House of Wealth, shadows demanded blood of the apprentices. Across Delta State, no name traveled like Chief Michel. If you lived in Warri, Ogheli, Port Harcourt, Abuja, or even Lagos, and you had never heard of him, people would laugh and say you were living under a rock. Chief Michel was more than wealthy, he was a walking advertisement for success. His business empire was motor parts, but not the dusty, bargain at the street corner kind. His influence stretched across Nigeria. From Ogheli to Lagos, Port Harcourt to Abuja, he controlled warehouses and shops that fed on each other like a living network of veins. If a truck rumbled past, piled high with engines, axles, or gearboxes, chances were good it belonged to him, or at least owed him something. But Chief Michel did not run this empire alone. He had apprentices, young men drawn from towns and villages across Delta. Some came from Isoko farmlands, others from Ijaw riverine settlements, others from Anioma towns. They came to him poor, hopeful, and obedient. Every December, his compound swelled with them. Dozens of boys, tall and short, dark and light, skinny and broad, gathered in his yard like a conference of youth. To them, he was not just an employer. He was a university, a father figure, a stern headmaster. And sometimes, a dictator with a cane that never retired. At his side was his wife, Grace Emakpo, a woman tall and graceful, with a sharp tongue that could humble even the loudest landlord. Grace was no ordinary wife, she was a partner, a shareholder, and a co-architect of Michel's empire. Together, they had 3 children, studying abroad in London. Chief Michel never missed a chance to boast. My children know just day school, them day London they learn global sense. When they return, even Dangote go shifts more. People laughed. But they also believed him. Yet there was one thing no one dared to say aloud. A secret so heavy it was carried only in whispers, cut short the moment his name appeared. Every 2 years, without fail, one apprentice disappeared. Not 3, not 4, always 2 years. And never in December or January. Always in June, when the rains beat the rooftops and thunder cracked like war drums. At first, people believed his excuses. Chief Michel always claimed the boys had stolen money and fled. He chewed cola nuts, sighed heavily, and played grief so convincingly that even skeptics believed him. These boys of nowadays no get discipline. I trusted him. I gave him everything. Still, he betrayed me. But behind the closed doors of his mansion, Chief Michel and Grace knew the truth. The missing apprentices were not thieves. They were sacrifices. The ritual never changed. Chief Michel would casually select a boy, just as someone selects a goat to slaughter at Christmas. Michael James carried this parcel to Adolo Street, number 17. Don't waste time. The boy, eager and proud, would obey. He would leave with the parcel. Night would come. He would not return. By morning, Chief Michel would gather the apprentices and thunder in anger. That boy. After all I did for him, he stole my money and ran away. God will judge him. And that was the end. No police. No search. Only stare. Then came a call from the village. Chief Michel's only sister had died. She left behind a son, her only child. The burial was in Ogheli, a small community in Delta State. The wailing women raised their voices, the men clasped Chief's hands, and the weight of tradition pressed down on him. His sister had lived poor. While Michel's name shook markets from Lagos to Abuja, she sold palm oil in little bottles, patched her son's uniforms, and cooked with trembling hands. People often wondered, how could a man so rich abandon his own sister? But Michel never helped her. Now she was gone. At one corner of the compound, a lanky boy sat quietly on a wooden bench, knees drawn to his chest, staring at dust swirling in the evening light. His name was David Okorodudu. David had just finished secondary school, preparing for JAMB, when death struck. His father had died long before, leaving him and his mother to struggle alone. Now she was gone too. Chief Michel studied him. The boy's shirt was faded, the collar frayed, but his back was straight. Pride lived in him, unpolished but alive. "David," Chief called, his baritone cutting through the compound hush. The boy sprang up. "Yes, sir." "You will not remain here. Pack your things. From today, you follow me. You are my blood. You will live with me. You will learn business." David's throat tightened. Gratitude and grief swelled inside him. He nodded quickly. By evening, the convoy of black SUVs roared out of Oghelli, villagers lining the road, whispering and pointing. Some pitied him, some envied him. He clutched a small nylon bag, the sum total of his mother's world. The mansion in Warri overwhelmed David. High walls. Marble floors. Cars lined neatly. Apprentices moving like soldiers in a parade. At first, David still dreamed of school. At night, he whispered formulas to himself, clutching his worn chemistry notebook. But slowly, the rhythm of business swallowed him. The clang of motor parts. The smell of oil. The sound of bargaining. Business became his classroom. He learned to spot fake spare parts by smell, to bargain without flinching, to carry gearboxes until his palms grew calloused. 1 year and 10 months passed quickly. David grew taller, stronger, more confident. Chief Michel began to notice. Sometimes he patted his nephew's back and said, "This one, he go make me proud." But behind the applause, June was coming. And June always demanded blood. On a rainy evening, Chief Michel dressed in plain black and left the mansion quietly. He told Grace he had a meeting. She didn't ask questions. She pressed his shoulder and said, "Don't fail." The meeting was in a warehouse at the edge of Port Harcourt, near the docks. Inside, men of power sat in a circle, politicians, landlords, moguls. At the center stood the Grand Master, the Otota of Shadows, hood crimson, staff tapping the ground. Chief Michel bowed. "Michel," the Grand Master said, "your wealth grows. Your name multiplies. But you know what sustains you. This June, the sacrifice must come. It will be the boy, the one from your sister's grave. David Okorodudu. Blood strengthens blood. Do not question." Michel trembled. He had sacrificed many apprentices before. But this was his sister's son. At home, he confessed to Grace. She scoffed. "Blood. That makes it perfect. Nobody will ask about this boy. His mother is gone. His father forgotten. He is alone. That is why he is right. Do it, Michel. Seal your fortune." Her words slid into him like poison disguised as wisdom. He nodded. From that week, David's dreams changed. His mother appeared often, wrapped in her sky-blue wrapper. She never spoke. Only looked at him with sorrow and urgency. Sometimes she stretched out her hand. Sometimes she shook her head. He woke sweating, heart racing. He told no one. But he knew, his mother was. Finally, the day came. Chief Michel sat in his sitting room, collar cracked in his palm. Grace tapped the chair arm like a drummer. "David," Chief called. The boy hurried in. "Yes, sir." Chief held out a small parcel. His eyes locked on David's. "Take this to Adolo Street, number 17. Hand it at the gate. Don't waste time. Return quickly." David nodded. He left. The parcel felt heavier with each step. The streets seemed too quiet. His mother's last dream echoed in his chest. At number 17, the gate loomed tall and black. Strange chalk lines crawled across it, glowing faintly. The gate creaked open on its own. Inside, The compound smelled of damp earth and rusted blood. A figure sat in shadows. When it lifted its head, there were no eyes. No nose. Only a mouth too wide, darkness inside. "Bring it," the figure rasped. The passer whimpered faintly. David froze. His mother's dream surged back, her mouth open, sound stolen. Against his will, his hands stretched the passer forward. Then the air changed. The scent of red earth after rain. Palm oil smoke. His mother appeared, fierce, her wrapper bursting into flames. She flung it over the eyeless figure. Shadows poured from the passer, faces of apprentices long lost. "Run, David," she cried. "I am already gone. You must leave." He ran. The compound collapsed in fire. He looked back once, saw his mother's silhouette holding back the darkness, arms wide, flames consuming her. 8. Judgment. When David stumbled into the sitting room barefoot, Chief Michel dropped his collar. Grace opened her mouth. The air thickened. The Grandmaster appeared, eyes burning red. 1. You dare defy the covenant? Chief fell to his knees. "Master, I sent him. I swear." The Grandmaster looked past him to David. "The boy lives. You insult the altar." Grace tried to speak. Lightning struck her chest. She screamed once and fell dead. Smoke curled from her lips. Chief collapsed, paralyzed. Drew slipped down. "You fed me souls. I fed you riches. Now you thought you could cheat me." Then the Grandmaster vanished. By morning, apprentices fled. The compound emptied. Only David remained, caring for his paralyzed uncle. 2 weeks later, during a heavy rain, Chief Michel's hands twitched. He beckoned for paper. Slowly, he confessed how his empire was built on blood, how every 2 years a boy was sacrificed at number 17, how Grace sometimes chose the victims herself. David carried the confession to radio stations in Warri, Asaba, Lagos, Abuja. By evening, the whole country buzzed. Broadcasters read the confession aloud in shock. That night, Chief Michel exhaled his last breath. Not in wealth, not in praise, but in shame louder than his name had ever been. Within 2 days, mysterious fires consumed all his warehouses in Ogheli, Sapele, Asaba, Port Harcourt, Lagos, Abuja. People swore no one carried matches. The wind itself remembered. A kind trader, Mr. Thomas Aritsemuya, who had known David's mother, came. He placed a hand on David's shoulder. "Your mother was a good woman. You will not waste your life here. Come with me, my son." Under his care, David returned to school. At night, he whispered into the dark, "Mama, I will not fail you." And he didn't. Moral lessons. 1. Evil may prosper for a time, but it always collapses. 2. Wealth built on blood will one day demand blood again. 3. A mother's love is stronger than death. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, comment and share to your friends.